On Sports Today, the coaches back-to-back for Parkland Mazda, the number one team at Parkland Mazda Cannington.
On 882 6PR.
And let's welcome in the victorious coach from the Fremantle Dockers, Ross Lyon. You're talking to Shane and McGuinness. How are you, Ross?
Yeah, hello, Shane. Good to see you recovered.
Now, please, can you just take us back to this press conference and how this unfolded? Now, were you in the toilet? Where can you describe where you actually?
It was the little league change room. So
somebody said you're in the toilet.
Well, it was the bathroom.
Well, when you were speaking, somebody.
I think it was the ensuite that was. Cistern was flushing, and
were you sitting
something
on the...
fell off the wall initially. We never knew what that was, and then someone flushed the toilet, so it was quite humorous at the time.
You weren't sitting on the bowl, were you?
No, well, it might have been where it was, mightn't it?
Hey, mate, great win. You talked it up, and you came through, and it was just a magnificent arm wrestle for the best part of 3 and a bit quarters, and finally, when a magnificent interchange there with Stephen Hill coming on, and that just absolutely closed the door.
Well, I think two things. Both teams brought amazing effort and intensity, and it was a true final. And then at the end of the day, luck's what's left over after you work your hardest. So, it's a game of inches, as all the old coaches say. And we took an opportunity. But I thought our second quarter was quite powerful, 9 shots on goal. And early in the third, we had control, but we mucked around the ball at half forward a bit and turned it over and invited them back in. And then the fourth quarter, our effort was superb, but we just lost a little bit of structure. I was a little bit disappointed about in review because it put us under some pressure, but the boys' will to win was really strong.
Aaron Sandilands took some crucial marks, and he looked as good as he's looked since he's come back. Yeah,
I agree with that. I think it's his best game. His ruck work, the combination of him and Zach Clark really handled what they threw at us really quite well and gave our mids first use. And then, he played his role, Aaron and Zach. They both took some marks around the ground. It's been a while since we've taken 16 contested marks and our contested mark, the Cats, which is an important ground because it's so narrow down there. So they certainly played their role for the team. And, look, it was a weighted numbers performance. We talk about it a lot, but, I can't think of anyone that didn't contribute at some point and put their head over the ball or lay a tackle or chase or, take their opportunity with the ball. So, we're pleased to get the result.
You can't have Crowley everywhere, but you chose Stokes. We thought it might be Selwood. Then you had to switch him on to Stevie Johnson. What was the thinking process as that unfolded?
Yeah, well, it was a big week at Match Committee, and particularly with Luke McFarlane making a decision as well. So probably a little bit distracted because they've got so many great players, like all triple premiership or dual premiership midfielders, and we just thought Stokes had, been getting 37 and 9 entries and 6 clearances and 2 a week, and it was more my call than anything. There was a split view, so when there's a split view, I can prevail. I was never super comfortable. I thought it was the right thing, but look, Stevie J just got away. But look, reviewing the game, it was as much of a game for a couple of our defenders as it was the midfield, so I probably owe the midfielders a bit of an apology, really, from the quarter time. Can you tighten up on him? But look, to Ryan's credit, he went and did a really good job, and he got about 14 possessions himself, Ryan, so he was critical in the mix.
Very crucial next 10 days or so, isn't it, when you think about it? Now you've got time for guys who may be getting over little niggly problems, etc. What's your gut feel? How are you going to approach this? I mean, a winning team.
I'll draw on my experiences at the Swans, where we'll prelims at the Saints. We're in 3 prelims, but there was 2 with the week off. So I've got all those training sessions written down, everything we did. And 09 to 10, we thought 09 we'd probably come in a little bit unders and got jumped. So in 10 we did more work. But the lesson is we'll look after the lads tomorrow and recover them more fully than we probably typically would, and then we'll be training.
What did you know?
Hard,
What does your notations tell you about players coming back off injury and having a little layoff? Do you roll the dice? Do you be conservative?
I played Luke McFarlane. That was 10 weeks.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying. But
yeah. What do you mean, like?
Oh well, are you concerned? Do you think the blokes will have to really prove their fitness to be selected?
Well, I don't think we've got too many, to be honest. I think Michael Johnson will be available. Clancy Pearce was operated on Friday, and Garrett Gibbertson needs to get moving. So outside of that, everyone else is fit and healthy in that 28 players that we've got. Crosby, Millington, Hannes. I'd be remiss of me if I miss a few off my head. Jesse Crichton has been really important. Kavanagh is another one. So, we've probably got about 28. Derek Gibbertson, we've got some good news on him today. He's really starting to move a little bit better.
Just move around. Just move around a bit, Ross. You're just getting a bit distorted there, mate.
Sorry, mate. So those we're pretty fit and healthy, squad really, but the ones that are out long term.
Having said that, you've got some big names there amongst those groups. So it's a great problem to have.
It is. There's pressure for spots, there's no doubt, and we're horses for courses. We've done it during the year, particularly when we played Carlton last time. Is it 2 tall defenders? Is it 3 on the weekend? We only went with two talls without Michael, and Paul Duffield did a really good job when Blickavs was forward, or they pushed a Rivers or a Taylor forward as well. So, we're horses for courses, but we'll recover. We'll review really sharply. We'll prepare this week like it's a game on Saturday. So all our reviews will be the same. We'll review training. Our focus will be just as focused on our normal process. The only obvious thing is there'll be a mental relief on opposition preparation. But the coaches, will work out who will fly to Sydney and have a look live as well.
Now, mate, Lee Spur, good mature age recruit. You talk James Podsiadly when you think about Geelong, but I tell you what, he's fitted in beautifully at Fremantle.
Yeah, he has. Another one. He's accepted the task given to him with open hands and really grabbed hold of it and secured his spot. Look, he's as tough as they come. He's speed, endurance athlete. He's got good skills, but more importantly, he's a team player, and he'll do anything for the team to see that the team gets across the line, and he fits in really well.
You must have been really pleased too. I think the other aspect from where I sat was your goal-scoring spread. I know that Pav had his 5 shots and kicked 2 goals, 3, but to actually get to the volume of contributors again is something that you worked on from mid-season, and it seems to be coming to plan. Yeah,
it is. Our general play goals and shots on goal from general play have increased enormously, and that's what the good teams do. So what was important, we had 51 entries and only having 9 in the last quarter. So for 3 quarters, we were ahead on entries until, they got hold of us on some repeat entries in the last. So our ability to score and get entries was critical. So the ball movement's gone through the roof, to be frank.
Do you reckon
we're playing really quite well with the ball?
Do you think that was the most physical for as long in a game that you've played this year? Because I was talking to obviously people after the match and thinking back to all the matches that I broadcast locally from home, and I just felt that the effort and the attitude and the for prolonged periods in that game was as good as I'd seen this year. Yeah,
look, it's hard for me to critique. I find it difficult to make those judgments. I know it was an intense game. And look, the stakes are higher, so everyone feels it more, that the outcomes are greater. But I don't think anyone can underestimate what the home and away series is like. There's a couple of expansion teams that have struggled, obviously, but outside of that, there's some brutal competition out there. So the home and away prepares you incredibly well for the final series, because at the end of the day, it's the same game.
To a degree, you broke the mould. I mean, leaving, resting a few of the players the week before. You're either going to be a genius or a bum, according to a lot of the pundits on this side of the country. It worked out beautifully for you. I mean, but the game's evolved, hasn't it, Ross? I mean, even from the days where you were told as a defender, never kick across goal. But, that's just changed the direction these days, isn't it?
Yeah, spot on. Everything, the only constant in AFL football, as someone once told me, is change. So, and the way I coach, or the way coaching panels coach, and the way we've played, the way we've structured up the start of the year to now, there's some, it'd be 20% difference. So you've got to continue to evolve and change, and they're only subtle, but you have to, we obviously pick it up because that's what we do. But yeah, and the rules continue to change. Like the interchange cuts in next year, so you'll see some differences again. But if you don't adapt, you perish, and that's why you look at coaches who've been around a while. Michael Monis, his ability to adapt is important, but the underlying fundamentals don't change, and that's put your head over the ball, chase when you haven't got it, and when you got to give it to a mate. So, Alan Jeans, the three phases still stand up, you know.
And just quickly, will you board the plane? I mean, I know you said you'll talk about it, but will you go across and watch that game? I mean, do you delegate?
Yeah, I'm keen to, and I'm planning to, but my angst would be if I would miss a significant training session for us. That would be the difficulty that I'll have to work through.
Sure.
So certainly two or three of us will go. It might be I stay behind and take the session, and because the players are my primary concern, those under my watch, and if you wouldn't want to lose one on the track and not be there, you know,
Sure.
you'd never, you know, it'd be hard for everyone. So we'll work that out tomorrow in our planning process.
Ross, appreciate your time. Thanks very much. Well done. Great build-up to the prelim final, the first in the club's history, second prelim final they've been in. And who knows, it'll be either Sydney or Carlton. We wish you well.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Carl.
So Ross Lyon there. Coaches back to front.
On Sports Today, the coaches back-to-back for Parkland Mazda, the number one team at Parkland Mazda Cannington.
On 882 6PR.
Your call's next, 922 111 882.
Sports Today, brought to you by the good sports at Yes Loans.
882 6PR.
The 6PR football panel is back Friday lunchtime. Don't miss our Footy on the Road team for playeronline.com.au and the Mitsubishi Tough Triton.
On 882 6PR.